causes this rift or whatever. I guess the initial event. It's not the Stanford incident like in the comics, obviously, for obvious reasons. They can't do the Superhuman Registration Act because there's no such thing as secret identities in the MCU. But there was a mission where Cap and his team are going to try to stop Rumlow from stealing whatever he was trying to stealing, and it results in a lot of casualties. And the next thing you know, you've got Mr. Ross coming to what are we doing here? What do we? I came here to fight, buddy. I came here to fight. Anyway, I don't know what that was about. Anyway, and so Ross comes and he's like, "Hey guys, you're causing a lot of problems, you're getting a lot of people killed, and we're gonna need you to stop. You need to stop until somebody tells you that it's okay for you guys to do it." And there we go. Anyway, then I'm dead. And anyway, and so you can see where Tony's coming from in this movie. Obviously, he gets approached by Alfre Woodard's character, who plays a mom whose son was killed during the Sokovia events, and Tony has always been the guy who causes his own problems, even since the first movie. Terrorists steal his weapons and use it against people, and he has to become Iron Man in order to stop that. You've got the Sokovia event where he creates Ultron and almost destroys the world. It's kind of his fault all the time, and so you can understand the guilt in that, and him wanting to be held accountable for these situations, because a lot of people are getting killed, a lot of things are being destroyed. But on Cap's perspective, he's like, these are suits, and these are men with agendas, and the moment that we sign our power to them, our agenda becomes their agenda, or their agenda becomes our agenda. And what happens if we have to go somewhere and they won't let us? And that's in Cap's perspective, there's the safest hands are still their own, and this causes a rift between the two characters. And beyond that, the movie doesn't focus as much on that as it does on their these two men's differences with each other. I mean, this is a very personal movie with very personal stakes, and you get the Sokovia Accords, and so of course Cap doesn't want that, so he bounces. And I want to take a moment to talk about Zemo real quick, because I think that you don't really get a full understanding of what he's trying, or what his goal is until the end of the movie. But when I tell you that Zemo's, oh nice, that was really good. I don't think it worked though. Anyway, woo, got those R1 spammers. There we go. Got you slipping. Anyway, Pyromancy is not the best strategy for PvP when somebody's really, really close to you. FYI. And that's coming from someone who's terrible at PvP in this game. Still love it. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. And so, Zemo's motivation. His family was killed during the Age of Ultron event, during the Sokovia event, and it's in the way that he paints that picture, where they cause this problem, they show up and destroy his country, kill his family, and then they just kind of bounce afterwards. I can't say that I wouldn't be salty myself, But anyway, I think that he had good motivations. I think Daniel Brühl did a great job with the limited amount of time that he gets in the movie, but I still felt for his character. And so I guess the rest of this movie, aside from what I've just told you, the rest of this movie is just chock full of meaningful, purposeful action, awesome character moments. I mean, we get introduced to Black Panther, and we get introduced to Spider-Man, and I have to say that they definitely steal the show. Chadwick Boseman could not have done a better job at depicting T'Challa. I loved his movement. I loved that costume. I loved, his motivation, why he was so adamant about, getting Bucky. And that was one of the things that I noticed when I was watching Black Panther pursue Bucky. It reminded me of Bucky in The Winter Soldier, how relentless and silent and unstoppable he seemed, or whatever. He was just this immovable force, and it was terrifying. And I felt that way for Bucky. Like, it was like Bucky just couldn't seem to stop this guy, and it was just simply amazing. And Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Oh my God, you think you've seen it before until you've seen it, and man, does he murder this role. I mean, it's so good. They capture Spider-Man, just about as perfectly as I could ask for. I loved Tony and Tom's Tony and Peter's tete-a-tete, their conversations. They're such science bros. And you can tell that Iron Man is trying to trying to ease his guilt by becoming this father figure for Peter, and I don't really think that is gonna help. Is gonna work for him very much. But it was still really tremendous. I mean, funny, and he was quippy. He was young and naive, and you could tell that he was kind of a bit in over his head, even though he was probably one of the most powerful people during the big fight, the big splash page fight, which was tremendous. I mean, 15 minutes of superhero orgasm. I mean, just come in your pants all day. So good. Another show stealer was Ant-Man. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing with his jokes. I mean, and everybody, and even though the movie is pretty serious, and surprisingly for a Marvel movie, the tone was pretty consistent, especially coming off of The Winter Soldier. And Ant-Man and Spider-Man really brought some levity to the scenes or whatever, because it was so tense for these characters. And you just kind of get this life reprieve with this, with these hilarious characters. Anyway, sorry I stopped playing. I didn't realize I wasn't being summoned in. But we get, and everybody gets their own, gets their time to shine. We get moments from every one of these characters. I mean, Scarlet Witch and Vision, we're starting to see the beginnings of their relationship, or possible relationship in the future. And we get to see Black Widow really, really on the fence about, what to do. You can tell that she's conflicted. You can tell that she's trying to find a way to navigate through this shitstorm without, things being, completely screwed, which, it is. Bucky has some really great action scenes in this. I really, really am warming up to Sebastian Stan as Bucky. And of course, Chris Evans. This is still a Captain America movie. Chris Evans is so ridiculously good at being Captain America. It really, really shocks me. But there is. Am I? Surprise! Haha! You got me. All right. Well, congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Yeah. There we go. Uh-oh. Fat rolling. Fat rolling. Woo. All right. Wow. Anyway, that was a weird strategy he had. The fat roll at me. Sneak attack. Anyway. Dang, dang. Anyway, but no, I think all of these characters are tremendous. The every action set piece, every character gets their moment, and I don't understand why you wouldn't want to go see this movie. And if you haven't by now, you really, really should. I'm trying to think of anything else that I can say. I mean, there are some, you know, there are some nitpicky things. I mean, I guess, you know, Zemo could have had a little bit more time. We could have had a little bit more with his character. You know, Spider-Man didn't need to be in the movie, but I mean, thank God he was, because I mean, oh, it's just so good. But you know, other than that, I mean, the story made sense. You know, how they get from A to B makes sense, or whatever. This was very well written. They're very well acted. I even loved Hawkeye in this movie. I mean, even Hawkeye has some really, really great moments. And you just gotta see it. You just gotta see it, and there's no other way around it. And if you don't, that's fine too. You know, I hate you, but it's fine too. Anyway, I'm gonna close this up with some incredible PvP action, in which in which I will probably lose. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Is it the same guy? It is the same guy. Oh, good job. Good job. Congratulations, sir. I'll bring something up. I have a few more minutes before I have to stop this video. If I can remember anything else that I wanted to say, I will definitely say. Oh, the final action piece in this movie. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. The final action piece in this movie is absolutely tremendous. I mean, it is so chock full of emotion, and it's such a deserved final act of this movie. I mean, boiling from, you know, these two's differences for some time now. You know, we understand Tony's hurt so much, you know, when he finds out who really killed his parents. And you see the fear in Cap's eyes. Is one of the things that I enjoyed so much was the performances. You know, when Cap sees Tony react to this information, he's so scared about what's about to happen or whatever, because he knows that Tony is not going to care that Bucky wasn't under his own control. He even mentions in the scene before, he calls him the Manchurian Candidate in the scene prior. So it's not like Tony is unaware of Bucky's you know, not being able to choose, you know, his actions or whatever. And which I find really ironic, because the theme of this movie is about choice, and Bucky is the only character in this movie who doesn't have a choice, who didn't get the opportunity to make a decision. It was taken from him ever since 1940. Since the 1940s, he hasn't had a choice. He's had to do these things because, you know, Hydra found him. So, and I found that really, really interesting. Really, I'm gonna keep spamming. Oh man, that's epic. Cool. I was being reckless and stupid anyway. But I found that was a pretty particular, you know, Cap, you know, chose to say no to those accords. Tony chose, all those team members chose, Black Panther chose vengeance or whatever, and chose not to do vengeance, you know, to pursue vengeance at the end of the movie. Bucky had no choice, and I don't know, you can't get better than that. It's so good. That's so great writing right there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I guess I will close this out with the last fight. I'm sure I'll lose because I'm terrible at this game. But, you know, that's how things go. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'll probably keep talking. I don't know why I'm like closing out as if I'm going to stop talking when this fight happens. It's totally going to happen. And here we go. Uh-oh. We're getting some gank action here. I think we're getting some gank action here. That's okay. Yes. Face me. Face me in Mortal Kombat. I am not afraid of you. Oh, winner. Uh-oh. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? And that's weird. Oh, battle's over. All right.